Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
Have you ever wondered about what the relationship is between the stuff in your head and what's under your bed? I know. I love the topic. It's different. It's different. Welcome to Make It Last podcast. I'm your host, Nurinder. It's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. We're talking with Regina Lark. Regina is in California. That's all. No, I'm not going to say that's all I know. That's all I will say right now. Because who is Regina?
Well, Noreen, thank you for letting me be here with you today. You seem delightful already. And I know that your audience won't see it, but we are both wearing the same color today.
Okay.
In our power blue.
Actually, it's the lighting because mine is actually purple.
Mine is actually blue.
Okay.
So Regina is an entrepreneur, business owner, author, and volunteer.
Okay.
I started a professional organizing company 13 years ago. So we're tasked with clearing crap and clutter. And
Interesting.
we help people who feel that they have so much stuff in their house and they don't know how to, they just honestly don't know how to get through it. And often it's because of how their brain is wired. So I came out of the chute with the part of my brain intact to be organized, to get to places on time, to go from A to B to C to D. I'm very linear in how I move my life. And because I have a good relationship with time, I heard the subtitle of your podcast is about relationships. And what I've come to understand is that we have relationships with the people with whom we live, but also relationships to the stuff in our house. I have a relationship to this particular coffee mug. I love this coffee mug. When I was teaching, when I was a professor of women's history, last semester, my students gave me this cup. So I have a relationship with it. I have a relationship with my environment. When we work with clients, they often have a relationship to their stuff and to their environment, and it's usually very, very crowded. So
That's interesting. Hence, it's a nice segue now into what we're going to be talking about. What's the relationship with the stuff in your head and what's under your bed?
So when I think about relationships, I think about, there's a couple of things happening. If somebody has a lot of stuff and they feel crowded and they can't get anywhere on time and they can't find their car keys, whatever, they will often call themselves names. You idiot, you're so lazy. Why can't you find this? You're always losing things. What's wrong with you? Everybody makes fun of you because you're always late. And I call that kind of self-negative talk, negative self-talk. I call that psychic debris, head trash, the garbage in our head. Yes. And the stuff in our head often resembles the stuff under our bed. I don't know why it's here. I don't know if I should get rid of it. You know, what if I need it someday? Look at who gave it to me. And we just don't have any ready answers for ourselves. So we tend to hold on to things. We don't let it go. We don't create a clear environment because we don't even know how to answer our own questions. So I definitely see a relationship between the stuff in our head, that negative self-talk, the stuff under our bed or on our bed or next to our bed or on the dining room table or in our cars, I think there's a direct relationship.
How then do you think this impacts on our relationships, whether negatively or positively?
Say that again.
How do you think all of the, and I like that term, head trash. How do you think all of that impacts on our relationships, whether negatively or positively?
Our relationships with ourselves or with other people?
Both.
I think that if we have that head trash and we have a cluster of clutter on top of our desk, I think the negative implications is that there's something wrong with us, that we're lazy. I don't believe in lazy. I believe that the reason why we don't do stuff is because maybe we're not the right person for the job. Maybe we don't know how to start. Maybe we don't know how to do it, but instead we call ourselves lazy. So I think there's a lot of negative self-talk. Instead of being curious about why we have a crappy relationship with time, why we can't activate on a project when we woke up that morning saying, all right, I'm going to do this today. And at the end of the day, we still haven't done it. And a lot of people will call themselves loser instead of asking, that's interesting. I wonder why I didn't do that today. Maybe I was hungry. No, I ate. Maybe I didn't get enough rest. No, I slept pretty good last night. Maybe I don't really know where to start. Maybe that's why you didn't do it. So if you want to have it done and you don't know where to start, you call someone to help you get started. Instead of beating yourself up because one more day you didn't do it.
So that is to a large degree in terms of relationship with ourselves. How then, does all of this, and excuse me, I won't use this term, head trash, then impact on how we relate to others, whether negatively or positively?
Well, that's a good question because it greatly depends on who we're living with and if they're messy too. So we get a lot of calls from folks who complain about the other adult in the household, whether it be their partner or their spouse or their roommate. They complain about the other person. That person's really messy. I keep my area clean. And the messy person will say, okay, I'll clean it up. But if their brain isn't wired, say, like my brain, and they don't clean it up, what do we think that's going to do to that relationship? They're going to lose trust. They're not going to believe you. They're going to call you a liar. And again, if you don't have a sense of curiosity about why you aren't doing something, and you fail yourself, and then you fail the person that you live with.
I love the concept of head trash. Are you clearing out all of that head trash? Because it is impacting your relationships more than likely in a negative way. We're going to continue this conversation after this short break where we get a word from our partners.
For all your events such as educational forums, workshops, book launches, weddings, and more, contact Noreen Daly, the ultimate MC and event host. Visit noreendaily.com or follow her on Instagram at Noreen Daily Jam. Noreen Daily, creating long-lasting memories.
Are you looking for one-of-a-kind products customized to suit your needs? Then shop at Trending Things, the place where customization is always an option. From personalized gifts to apparel, accessories, drinkware, and home decor, you name it, we make it. Get your favorite designs on any item for party favors, weddings, graduations, or any special occasion, all at affordable prices. What are you waiting for? Visit our website at trendingthings.com to order your trendy item today. Trending Things, bringing creativity to the things you love.
So, The whole idea of a branding strategy sounded so exotic and so fancy to me. But after having several conversations with Neon, I now have a clearer understanding. I am sure of what my identity is, what it is that I want people to see Noreen Daly as. Thanks, Neon. Thanks, Splint.
Visit them at wearesplint.com.
Negative self-talk? Are you engaging in negative self-talk? Let's see. Welcome back. We'll continue the conversation. What about, outside of the house?
Well, it depends on how good you are at hiding it. If you, so here's an example. Say you're a member of a book club.
Okay.
And once a month, you meet at somebody else's house for the book club. Well, when it's your turn to host the book club and you have a very, very messy house, you either say, let's meet at a restaurant, or you make a mad dash to clean it up and you shove it all in another room. The book club may not know, so it may not affect the outside of your environment. But now you got an even bigger mess than what you started with.
It's interesting you should say that, because I have it's something at the end of my bed where I can keep like sheets and towels, and I'm forgetting the name of it right now. And for a while, I've had a lot of stuff on it. So anytime I need to get into it, I'd have somebody helping me say, okay, you hold what's on top so it doesn't fall off, so I can get to what's inside. And I told myself, it's time. I'm going to just clear it. And it's interesting because just having it empty did something to my psyche today when I saw just that clear space in my bedroom. So I understand what you're saying in terms of just us having a lot of stuff, sometimes. With all of this, though, and based on what you've done with different clients over the years, how then do we help to clear all of this trash to just ensure that our environments stay decluttered, and then have, positive and healthy relationships? How do we do that? What do you recommend?
So the two hardest parts in clearing the path, first is the decision making, what to let go of.
Okay.
And often we don't let go because we're afraid to let go. What if I need this someday? If you let it go and all of a sudden you need it, you think something bad is going to happen. So we err on the side of holding on. So we have to spend a bit of time thinking about what we're going to let go. And then the second hardest part is maintaining clear space. Maintaining cleared space often means that you have to change everything inside of you, your habits, your behaviors, and your relationship to stuff and your environment. In order to maintain a cleared space, you do have to make those internal changes, right? Because you transform the external, but transforming the internal to stay caught up with the external, it's a lot of work.
It is. And as we're wrapping up, for people who will watch this and will listen to this, and they will say, it's easy for you to say, Regina, because obviously this is something you've been doing for a while, you do it professionally. I'm listening to this and I'm watching this and I'm saying, I live in a household where I have several other persons in this space, different age groups, and sometimes it's not so easy for the space to be clear so that we then don't get at each other. Because, well, let me not say usually, because this might sound sexist. A lot of times it is on the female to ensure that the space is clean. So whether it's the children mess it up, a lot of times it is the female that all of that, strain is on. So for somebody who's listening saying it's easy for you to say, what would you say to that person that's saying, I just don't know if I'm able to do this because of the different age groups, whether the children or whoever else that I have in this space?
I think You're not being sexist by saying women do all the work. That's why I wrote my freaking book, Emotional Labor, Why a Woman's Work is Never Done and What to Do About It.
Oh, okay. All right. Which we're gonna hear about
I'm
soon.
not really clear why we call it women's work when it is work.
Okay.
You do not need a particular body part to do the work. You don't need your hoo-hoo to vacuum. So so yes, you're stating a fact. You're not being sexist. That said, what I see in families is a lack of desire to understand and be curious about what the hell is going on in the household. Why is only one person doing all the work? What, really? Really just one person doing? It's emotional labor is the invisible, the unwaged, the undervalued, the unacknowledged, the constant work that women do in the household that is actually very, very valuable, and without which we would suffer as a humanity.
What you just did was to give them a preview of our next, show, but that's fine.
It's all related, Noreen. It's all related.
That's true. It's all related. So if for you could in some ways say it as encapsulate everything that you just said in one sentence. I know it's gonna be difficult. How would you do that? And what would that one sentence be? In relations, I'm just gonna say the topic and one sentence. What is the relationship between the stuff in your head and what's under your bed?
The relationship between the stuff in your head and what's under your bed has everything to do with how your brain is wired. It has everything to do with your ability to manage time, to manage your emotions, to manage a sequencing of events. It has everything to do with whether or not you have a healthy executive function.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Regina. It was a pleasure.
Great.
This was Make It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives,